And we're live.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Great Awakening Generator. I am Rose, if you didn't know that. And you are?
Claudia, words of the light. Today, more explanation than words of light. Who knows what's coming?
Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. I'm just going to increase Claudia's volume just to make sure that everything's okay. I'm looking at my makeup. It's all out of whack. I look really like I have some white stuff. Right, what do we do? Speak again, Claudia.
So I think I'm just going to do some talking today. And
Okay.
it is following up from last week in very practical ways that happened this week. I think that's what we need to do today.
Okay. I think that's fine. However you feel led to do what you need to do, then by all means do it, because sometimes through the discussion and that messages come through.
Yes.
It's very strange weather in Auckland today, just to change the subject and bring it back into mode. And then I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Is it raining down in Nelson?
Not today. It was hosing yesterday. Yes.
Okay. We've had some rain, rain overnight where I live. Meant to be a beautiful sunshiny day, but nevertheless, we carry on as we do. So for today, you are going to do what you said. I think we go with the flow today, very much so, because I just felt like, I feel like going with the flow is a very important thing at the moment, especially that some of us, and when I say this, I speak for myself, and perhaps you might agree with it. Some of us are not having flow. Even in areas where we used to have flow, where we should have flow, we're not having flow. Some of the light language that came out this week was about that, because we're looking around ourselves and we're seeing people living life. We're surrounded by multiple situations, right? We have situations of, shockingness, of sadness, of hardship, of all of that. But we also have, we have those other things where things are going really well for people. And I think we must not forget that. And I think they are there to show us, hey, come to the other side. There's hope. There's hope. We are here, but we are living life at this point in time too, because that's how we're supposed to be doing it. But you are going to get there, whatever it is. There's no hierarchy in it. There's no I'm better than you in it. There's just a matter of we're just flowing. They're here to give us examples of how it can look like to flow. Now it's very challenging. We all know of some kind of challenge in that sense. We know that, right? So I feel like that's what we need to talk about today. So as usual, I'll do some language and then you go into what you need to do. And today, and then when I come back, I'll just say my thoughts on what I was thinking about. Very impromptu today, everyone. It's going with the flow. Don't know. It was just a morning that I woke up on time, everything, but for whatever reason, the lack of movement in my legs is taking over everything. I want to go slow. Let's put it that way. Okay. Okay, so anything you want to say, Claudia, before we do the language?
No, I think what I'm going to say is very much feeding into what you just said, and it just expresses differently for every one of us. And I very much think it is the time for introspection and just do nothing but observe and process. Very much like that. And if we don't, either our body tells us, our relationship tells us, something tells us, come on, take a break and look at things and grow. So there's great opportunities. So I think that's where I'm going to talk about.
Okay, that's cool.
Right. I'll put myself on mute.
Okay, great. And I'll just change that too. I'm just writing. If you see me writing notes, everybody, it's because even whilst Claudia is talking, it's about things that I need to remember. coming out of that. So, because I've just put one thing down now from what she's just said. All right. So, yeah, let's do the language. Okay. So everyone, I welcome you here. You're very welcome here. You're very welcome here in the place that is our place. We are together. Our intentions today for our language, for our time together, is to bring in the energy of going with the flow so that it becomes our reality. It's to bring in our energy of just taking time to breathe. It's very much a Pleiadian energy here today. I had this music 528 hertz come up on my YouTube feed this morning whilst I was getting ready, and it was a Pleiadian chant, and this is why I'm saying what I'm saying. And for me and for you today, I want us to remember that the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, the Lyrans are all here to help us, and anybody else, anyone from Nihal. Ila kashalama kela kutaleda. Ila makashalama ho. Iela vakuto, iela vavivi, kola vakita malaka sofa na here. Ilo kushafai, neseferiku, da 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 do, la hila ho, la hila ho. Ile Mexico na hola me kefa hola me kefa la he tola he hola he oh hello ikalama ho ha he la ho he hola he my kola he kosara vakate no korotai ilama kushita varadu nara kita fahisa toro makashita tafahona karatete taraya. Welcome everyone. Gesalama kutoforonate tolama kitatuto namake safari tahianao takarata tofarai. Jolokata se. Okay, over to you, Claudia, when you're ready.
I thought it was quite funny you were mentioning Pleiadian energy, because that's what I felt this morning too. But
Yeah. Okay, you carry on. And
I'll talk about something a bit later. So I think how I'm going to start off with is Rose has titled today's part of the series No Conflicts, and I thought they were so apt because if you remember what happened last week, what we talked about last week, you remembered Heather Enslow, and I watched the video about Venus going into the underworld and addressing the relationship with her sister, and it was so shocking. She died in the process and then emerged a new person as the morning star, going in as an evening star. And that is what happened this week. That's what happened this week, not just for Rose and I, but for other people as well. I think this week very much was meant to trigger us all to go into that underworld and not necessarily look at the relationship, because there's nothing wrong with the relationship. It's just a trigger. It's an opportunity to rise as the new being, assess where you're at, looking at your own patterns, assess your own darkness, and from then on, move up, move forwards. Sorry. No, we're going now. Thank you.
Jeez.
I'm alive. Thank you. See, there's aggression everywhere. This whole week has been amazing. I didn't ask for that. I didn't plan that, but this is what's happening in all our relationships. Also with clients, I have seen people in conflict. There's conflict, there's anger, and quite often it comes from a space of fear, because our karmic patterns are triggered, very much so, meaning situations in past lives that looked very much the same as to what we went through this time, are showing up exactly like that again. And we are asked to work through it and look at it from our new perspective, where we are now, our far higher vibration than we were at that lifetime. Looking at it from that perspective. And it's quite interesting. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but the situation between Rose and I, once I could look at things from a more objective angle, I could see how everything was orchestrated just so. I'm sorry. Did I tell you about chaos? Orchestrated perfectly. We were invited to do certain things, and both of us got prompts, and the other people that were part of it got prompts. Everyone was there, and it was very much set up, I believe, how it was in a past life. Not necessarily with the same people, but the same feeling. And I thought it was amazing how our guides work in the background to provide the same opportunities, and then we get the chance to take that step back and really look at our part in it and why we were triggered, what that meant for us, and the learning that we can take from it. The other thing that I have seen, and this may explain it a bit better, so you know when a train comes into the maintenance yard, they go on that round thingy. I don't even know what that's called. So they go in for maintenance, and then clonk, the track changes and you're going out another side. I think we're in that situation where we're sitting there getting the opportunity to get an upgrade, to be fixed, and then the direction is going to change. I've seen that this week again with several people, even in hands-on healing. I saw it, I felt it, the direction changing for that person. That also means, that leads me to the next thing that I observed, is my guidance system has brought me to this point so I can deal with it. However, now I've dealt with it, I have taken my learnings from it. I have had the chance to analyze, and now I'm ready to move in the new direction, which I have asked for all along. But I need a new guidance system, or one that is more appropriate. So I've arrived here, I've worked through it, they've been super helpful to set it all up so I can grow. But now it's time to reassess. You know, I want to change direction. I want to keep growing in a different way. Now my vibration has changed because I have changed my karmic patterns. I need some different help. So I've done that for myself this week and really gone through the process. Once I cleared my karmic patterns and learned from them, and I've looked at my guidance system and said, okay, you know, thanks everyone. You've helped me up until this point, but I feel quite a few of you are now not going to be helpful anymore because my direction is changing. So I've gone through that process. I've tuned into them, and guess how many Pleiadians have turned up? So obviously I did ask for a greater push, and here they come, pushing me on my next part of the journey. So I would like everyone to invite everyone to look at relationships where that has happened this week. Where have they had something that looked like huge conflict, but really was a trigger for growth? And I'm not sure how in touch you are with your guidance system. I think the best way is what we described last week. Get in touch with your higher self, because they know. They're the most reliable source at this point in time to tell you, where am I? Am I still heading into that maintenance yard, or am I heading out? Where am I? And once you're heading out, you can say, hey, do I need an upgrade? Do I need to change my guidance system? And then go. However, the time for go is not just yet. It really feels like what Rose said, go with the flow. Take your time to get all your upgrades, get the maintenance, look at every detail in your machinery. Is it all nice and clean and ready to go on the next path of your journey? And that was one relationship for me. You saw the next one coming. So as soon as I clean up, everyone is affected. So then I need to work through the next lot and give great consequences for that. It just doesn't stop. So if we grow, all of our loved ones very close with us are affected, and they need to have the time to process and have that upgrade. So we're still very much in that underworld. Crikey, we're not finished. And it really is an invitation to take time and allow that to happen, and allow them, their growth to happen, because it's not just us, and no one's a victim. We are all having amazing opportunities. That's all it is. So if you can distance yourself from the emotional side of the conflict and lick your wounds, take some time, work through it. What are the triggers? And look at it from an observer's perspective and say, okay, these are my opportunities. Am I ready to take them or not? And then if you do, the others are affected. So you need to go into the next relationships and see, where's there more conflict? Or do I see my child's really unhappy? What do I need to do for them? What is not flowing for them? It's not necessarily with me, but it's with their own relationships. So I think now really is the time to take time and reassess and analyze and observe before racing off doing the next thing. That's me, Rose. That's me.
Well,
and I think that was orchestrated just as much.
I love that, because I just feel like it's so
authentic.
It's authentic, and it's just saying, hey, the mold is broken, because we expect everything to be perfect when we sit here, right?
Yeah.
And I was complaining about my makeup. I said, oh, too much white makeup on. Like, it looks too white. And yeah, I did. I overplastered something on there. So excuse me, everybody. If
You
I look like a clown.
beautiful, Rose.
I need that makeup to use the beautiful word, by the way. Anyway, everybody. I was just writing some notes, because as Claudia was speaking, she's reminded me about what I needed to say, because I kept thinking about, what do I need to say? What is going to be my part in this today? And the more I think about my week, and I think about everything that's been going on, I feel like this week in particular, which was really lovely to realize that all the work I'd done on myself worked out. That it was triggered, the stuff happened that triggered it, where when I was more in the third dimensional space in my thinking and my intuitive journey, I would have probably shut things out. I would have probably said, I don't want to ever speak to that person again, or who do they think they are? All of that there. And I just really felt like that was just happening on surface level, and everything underneath was all this work I've done to be where I'm at in terms of my journey with myself, with my higher self. Because, we operate from love, and we were really, really, really put on a spot where we had to question, how true is that when you say that? When you say you operate from love, are you really operating from love? And when you're like put on the spot, what's going to happen? So I feel like, this Venus movement at the moment, from going from the evening star to become a morning star and going through the underworld. And I apologize because I said Heather Hemsworthy or something last week when I was referring to her. She's Heather Hemsworth. And the astrologers. And I think I meant to put the link, and I'm not sure if I did. I'm sorry. It's kind of been out of whack week, but I will find it and put it on there. Even my speech has been a bit different. My words do not seem to be coming out easily or correctly for some reason. These are all things energetic, by the way. If it's something physical, I'll find out. But I notice that I do go through phases like this when I'm having all these shifts, energetic shifts, right? So if you're feeling like that, that could be a reason. Just ask the guides and we can talk about those people, the guides, very shortly, because I told mine off this week. Anyway, so it's like, just ask whoever's helping you to help you work that out. Is it medical? Is it physical? Is it intuitive? Is it about energy? All right, so that's what I mean. Lion's Gate. Oh, sorry, I just want to come back to Venus. Venus in the underworld. I felt like ever since Venus has gone into retrograde, I've had an underworld experience every week. You reflect on yourself, reflect on your life, reflect on what's been happening in the last few weeks. Feels like we're there, we're going under, then we come out on the other side. Because last week's, our session was amazing on Sunday. And then we sort of had another meeting, and then with other people, and then it sort of went, what? And I thought, what was that? What the heck? And so it's kind of like, this doesn't happen just with you. It happened with other people. It's like, so just be aware of yourself. And we're talking about this not because we need to say to everybody, we're all going through this stuff. And it's important that you be easy with yourself. It's important that you love you. It's important for you to stop and think about you. We're really being asked to look at ourselves at the moment. And you think, I dealt with this thing. Why the heck is it back here? Well, perhaps, I was saying it in one of the light language sessions, we have never been at this point that we are right now. All that work we have done, all the meditations, all the mindfulness practice, all that we have done, all that we have become has never been like this before in this lifetime. Remember the transformation process. Okay. And so we're going through that. And therefore, you get to see, okay, when I'm knocked around with that third dimensional stuff, what am I going to do? What is my response? So it gives you a review on where you're at, and how do I respond to it? Do I react or do I respond? That's the question. Do I hate or do I love? Or is it somewhere in between? And be real about your feelings, because that's important. Right. Lion's Gate. I felt like Lion's Gate downloaded so much light to us, so much coding. This Lion's Gate knocked us. It really did, right? You suddenly got to see things that were not just, it was not even things, we really went into the underworld, because here I have somebody calling me from that space, not the underworld necessarily, but from the other side, to deal with something that is happening here. And I've got to tell you, it's just to put it out there to anybody knows what I'm talking about, that I had another confirmation that I'm on track with this week, and I had a confirmation from somebody who I just asked a general question to, who just came out and said, what you got would be absolutely right. And so just for anybody that's watching, that's been in the meeting, that we've been discussing this thing that we will bring to the forefront when the time's ready. Right. So that I talked about Lionsgate, and I think a lot of the revelations that are coming out, the Lionsgate is propelling it forward. Expect even in your world, you might start to find things that what you believe, what you know, and you think, I know that as I know that as I know that is suddenly going to come out, and it's going to be like totally take you by surprise. And you think, but I thought that was not the case. You're going to get a total opposite thing. Do not be afraid of this. We want revelation. If it comes to you, it means that even though it might kick you in the gut, it means that the information might kick you in the gut is what I mean, not physical kick in the gut. It means that you have the energy, the strength, you have the maturity to cope with that. It means that it came to you because you have your ability to do that. Okay. Then I fired my guides this week. I was really annoyed because what I've been hearing a message, some of the stuff that we've talked about, Claudia, and some of the stuff that other people have been talking about, is that what I'm getting is that sometimes guides come in to help us at certain points in our lives and they don't leave. I think for me, that has been a big message in the last few weeks, because or maybe it's been coming on and finally it blew up in the last few weeks, right? Because I've never thought about that. We invoke the help of people at certain times when we are going through strife in our lives, or the higher self invokes the help because we need it or whatever, right? But we don't know if they actually stop helping us. And is that help applicable to that time and space? It is applicable to the time and space you needed, but does it continue being that help you need? Because for whatever reason, this is new knowledge to me. Guides don't leave sometimes. They stay and they carry on running the replay of that in your mind. And so you need to have, I guess we need somebody who understands that to clear that for us. Yeah, Claudia is one of those people, by the way, and this is not a marketing thing, it's just saying that's Claudia's work. And I've met other people. Now, I came across a video on YouTube where the people are talking about, this lady said, I fired my guides. And I thought, oh, how apt. Let's do it. She said, I lined them up and I fired them. That's what I did. And I thought, oh, yes. I think you people that are running the replays here, you need to get out. I was like, I know that it's terrible to speak to your guides like that, but I was like, no, I'm not having this. You are not going to come in here and keep running. You need to know when it's time to go, because you need to go help somebody else who needs it. Someone's waiting for your help. So please, guides, go. Do what you need to do and stop wasting time here, because you're wasting my time and helping me run replays that I don't need to have replays on. Right. So that's what I thought. I did say, though, I want all my unicorns to stay, please. And I want all the archangels of the horizontal and the vertical planes to stay, because I trust those people without a shadow of a doubt. I trust them. Okay. And this morning I was reminded your Arcturian guides are waiting for the answer. Your Pleiadian guides are waiting for the answer. They're waiting for you to say it's okay to be here because you fired everybody. And so before I came on and turned the live button on, I said, welcome, Arcturian, Pleiadians, Andromedans, Lyrans, everybody that looks after me from my galactic family. And anyway, I kind of made up with my galactic family this week when I did the light language for why we that resonate with Lemuria are so galactic, because we have a blend of the starseed family DNA in us. And I don't know why I got that, but I got that. We have been all over the galaxies. We have been all over the universes. We have been to many places. Okay. And blueprinters, if you are the one setting up galaxies and everything, know that, you know, whatever thing you do in your blueprinter work, this is one of the reasons. I just got that. I don't know. Somebody else might come along and confirm it for you. So just remember that. So think about that and tap into yourself and find out more about, hey, what's different? Why do we resonate so well with Lemuria? Because I think that's what the Lemurians did. Now so I'm saying a lot and I'm conscious of the time. So I will be very shortly concluding. I got something that I found was very interesting for me. I got that I'm ticking off that I've talked about everything. I felt like Earth is probably going through the underworld herself now that Venus is going through the underworld. Because if we're feeling the energy of underworld, remember that whatever Earth is going through, we're going through that as well. But I felt like the Earth has got, something's happening. And I felt this pull out of, and separation of it. And it's probably been, I'm ignorant of a lot of things. I am not the expert on this, but I felt like perhaps there's the physical shift. There's a process where there's a physical shift of Earth from the third to the fifth. And we're in the middle somewhere. Okay. And so we're going through that transformation. So I feel like there's a lot of sadness on the planet. I've been asking my guides, why can't I give more uplifting light language? I feel like my light language has got a bit of sadness to it. I've been feeling like I want to cry a lot in the last few days. It's not coming out completely. And gosh, I hope something triggers it that I just bawl it out, because I need to cry it out. And I need to, I need to cry for whatever it is that I need to be crying for. And I need it to just come out. I need to have a big boo-hoo, and, and that is it. So if you're feeling like that, just remember that. Yes, just remember that. So remember that, we're going through something, and it's okay to cry, and it's okay to feel sad. And yes, the more we move to the fifth dimension, we probably understand more why people are leaving suddenly, why people are being diagnosed with an illness on this day, and then 6 weeks later, they've left, why people are taking their lives away from here. It's a sad time, and it's just a sad time. And I'm sorry if any of you are going through that. You've lost a family member suddenly, or sickness and illness are taking over your body, or there's confusion, and there's all of those things going on. So I'm asking for more uplifting light language, but I think we are having to deal with stuff like this. This is what we're working on, the sad side of things. Okay. So Claudia, before I do the language and we conclude, is there something you want to add to this?
No, I think you're spot on there. I think we do need to take time and allow those emotions to come through. It's just a vehicle to deal with things. But I think I've heard several people yesterday actually talk about this urge of wanting to cry. So obviously it's not just for ourselves. I think there's a greater need just for us to pour our love out, release whatever trauma is there at the moment, and support in that form.
Yes. And something's just come to my mind now. I'm conscious of time, but it just come to my mind. I'm sorry, I'll say this to you. I've actually felt shiftings in my head. It's almost like my brain is being realigned to something, right? And I felt it in my chest, like where I shouldn't be feeling anything in my, like I'm a healthy person, but I just felt movements in my chest one of the days and thought, oh, that's weird. So
that's relationships.
Yeah.
And that's what we're being triggered to work through from karmic patterns.
Yeah.
Very much heart space and throat, how we're using our words, and intuition. Did we see that coming? That's a lot of it. Probably power as well. We weren't in our power in those relationships. So no doubt.
Okay. All right, let's do the language. And the intention for the language is to bring in the energy of going with the flow. It's to bring in the energy of, I suppose, helping us balance out the codes and things that are being downloaded. Is to be able to respond to our relationship, things that come up, rather than react in a negative way. And just to help us remember who we are when we're going through this. And also, one thing I feel is important is for people to realize, if you get a diagnosis from a doctor and it's life-changing, important to stay without fear mode, stay out of the fear zone. That is a challenge, I understand. But we want to invoke the energy of, how does it get any better than this? Michael Sandler says that. I'm quoting him, so that's why I said his name. He always says, ask, how does it get any better than this? how does this situation get any better than this? All right. And fear is going to take us to the grave sooner when we get this. I say this with love. Ask, what else can I do? Can I find out about? What else is there for me? Because death doesn't have to be the answer when we hear these things. There are many energy healers on this planet that can help us through this. There's a lot out there. So we'll do some language now, and I'm just going to turn that musician's mode on, and let's do. That is our intention. So I urge you that wherever you are, through this language, whatever it means, that you start to invoke your intention for what you want through the language, okay? I think intention is very important when it comes to language. Okay, I'm just going to go a little bit further away from the computer, and hopefully that works. Okay. Take a deep breath, everyone. And another one. Kafalo yela maheo ai avokoto hi sofra hilawo ye lokoto pahira koto ameke sefo hevo zalena he oh Elohim, oh Eloha, Elafeko maelakite, Kelavaho kalko mahasye, Jelavako, Ikalamokochea Home, home, I am a home. Ikolog divine. Esse la catafonuzza. Clansamana che la tototo, tai kafraino, tamahe, tamarea hotsa. Healing, healing, healing. Healing, healing. Lola lelam. Kulata tafarocha,
Kulamahitia, Kulaherza, Kumalakafatse, Sorahitrak, Frilamotoche, Sokratapena, Iklakuto, Tessena Karatomoto to Pare, Katabaichuna, Kuratahemo, Samakita Forotahe. Friends, there's a very playful energy here. Yes, there's an energy of healing and love and all of that. But there's also a very playful energy. It's almost like a parent energy, playing with the child, teasing a little bit and saying, go easy, go with the flow. Alamikafon, you're okay. We have never left any of you. Zolokatsende, you are taken care of. Okay, here we are. Thank you.
Yeah, it was different, very different.
Yeah, I feel like the Pleiadians really are coming through today. And yeah, I just kind of last night when I did my meditations, I really I said, I really like, people talk about, Kuan Yin is here, or I really like to have more details about the people that are here helping us. But maybe it's always about collective. For some of us, it's not necessarily one person. It's a collective of beings that are here. And the Pleiadians are definitely here. The Arcturians are here too. Those that are assigned to us for this time and space are very committed to it. None of them, guides are very committed to us. We must always say thank you to them. So much so that they can't hear that they have to leave. So, we do need to be saying, you know what, okay, if you've done your work, thank you so much. Perhaps fired is not the word to say, but just thank you so much. You get mad when you think that they're running replays that are not serving you right now in this time and space. And that's where I was at when I said what I said. But thank you so much for doing your work. And thank you that you're doing your work so well, but somebody else needs you, sort of thing. Okay. So that's our session for today.
Yeah.
So Claudia, say what you need to, because I have a question for you, and we'll tell everybody whilst we're here.
You ask.
Okay. What I had thought, because I have put on the Great Awakening Generator, like, for example, I'm not doing any recordings with Dr. Darek. The Dr. Darek series, episode 7 went on Friday. And I felt guided that we needed to take some space for the Mercury retrograde, everybody. Because Mercury is, well, I've been feeling like Mercury is in retrograde since the last 3 weeks, but Mercury official timeline for Mercury retrograde is the 22nd of August, which is what, Tuesday, Wednesday this week, right? Yeah, Tuesday. So I felt that for certain things, we were taking a holiday from that. And then when we had this experience this week, I wondered if we should do it with the Words of the Light series. But as we were speaking here now, I felt that perhaps we need to carry on with it for the simple fact that, but then also perhaps we need a recess for Mercury retrograde. Perhaps we need to go back and realign and rejuvenate and come back. So I don't know. We may not even answer the question now, but we are telling you this now. So if I will put a note to say we return on a certain date if we are not returning. Okay, so just, Claudia, we don't need to answer it now, but we just want everybody who's watching, who catches this, to know that that's what we're thinking about at the moment, all right? Because I thought no, and then with the week, when we had Tuesday, and then I thought, I think maybe, because I don't know, because it kind of
say that face again.
No, not that. No, not that at all. It was just a matter of,
I'm trying to make light-hearted fun.
I see, but it's just like, you know what it was? It was just like, okay, I need to maybe breathe and think here. And do you know what I mean? Like, not any other thing, because I have so far, the Words of the Light series, I have not had a not to carry on with it. And remember, when I stop doing something with someone, it's because the guides are saying to stop doing that, because now that person got what they needed, the people listening got what they needed, and now we let them go on and do what they need to do. because, you know, like Chantal French, that's what I got. And we had to end it at the end of July. And that was fine. I always knew that was not going to go on for a longer period of time, that they would tell me when we needed to stop.
Yeah.
Okay, so coming back to this. So this is what I feel. And so everybody, we'll let you know. I will put it up. We will just seek more guidance on it. And we have a whole week anyway, which is enough time. But I do love what we do here. But again, I'm loving it. But perhaps the guidance is for us to say, well, we'll love it even more if we take the recess, you know? I don't know. And right now, there's so much happening with people that maybe it's important for us to take the time away, because taking the time away means that we come back stronger. We come back more aligned with what we need to do. So that's what makes me think maybe, but we will keep you posted.
Yeah.
Okay. You tell me what you think. Yeah.
Thank you, Rose. I wonder, I don't know. I really don't know. On one hand, I know I need time to go through with my children, definitely, and them with each other, definitely. On the other hand, if it helps people who are watching just to feel not alone in what they're going through in that week, which are quite big things at the moment, and just put a different spin on it, different perspective, if that's what we can provide, that may be quite helpful.
Exactly.
The other thought I had is with my new Pleiadian guys and yours coming in, maybe there is something there that we need to look at.
Yeah, and you know, I when I say this, what I had got was that I needed to do light language every day on the light language messenger channel. And so I got this like 2 months ago, and I was like procrastinating and all that stuff, you know. Anyway, so I finally did it, and then I had a recess. Like I had a whole 1.5 weeks where I couldn't bring myself to sit in front of the computer and do this recording. And I was just having a lot of energy shifts, right? But also, they reminded me a few days ago, but we asked you to put this both on Light Language Messenger and the Great Awakening Generator, because it doesn't mean that people on the Great Awakening Generator are going to pick up that you do this light language. I mean, the Great Awakening Generator was really for all of us. And they've just asked me, so why not put your work on it as well? You know, and so I will be doing as best as I can a light language message every day.
Nice.
So there will be that. I have been asked to do Beyond Lemuria cards, the Oracle deck, because through that, we are starting to remember our Lemurian heritage, DNA, message, whatever. And I apologize for yesterday's one because I didn't have musicians mode on for the first part of it. And I started to do the language, and it was absolutely beautiful. And it came out really wonky. So sorry, everybody. But I did apologize. And I know you, I hope you'll forgive me, because we have a forgiving culture, I believe, in our community here on the Great Awakening Generator. So yeah, I think that is what they've said. You can do that, Rose. So something's always happening on the channel and is giving someone encouragement, but also people. When I put out just an update a few weeks ago, I did say, if you're struggling with something, if you're feeling like you need help, the channel is there to help you. Contact me directly via the channel. I will put you on to somebody if I cannot stress something. It's just the way I think for the moment we have to do this, because if we don't, we're going to have a burnout later on. And so I don't know, it sounds like I'm saying we are going to have that recess, but I'm feeling very much from what you just said now, Claudia, that we need to do the recess, because I felt, you know, perhaps you could do with the time. Okay, everyone. We'll keep you posted. We will let you know when we return if we are not back next week. All right. But I'm here. I'm supposed to be every day. So, okay. The Pleiadians have arrived. The Pleiadians have arrived now. There's a new squad of them, I think, that have arrived. This is a new squad. So,
yeah, definitely.
Another group of beings that are working with us. Okay. Anything you want to say, Claudia?
No, I'm done.
Like the way you say that. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Look after you. We'll catch you soon. Bye-bye. Much love.